Hello children, today I am here with the video for the students of class 7. Subject Biology, chapter number 8. This is wind, storms and cyclones. In this chapter, we will be learning about what is the importance of air pressure, how winds are caused, how do high-speed winds reduce air pressure, what is the importance of expansion of hot air, how wind currents are generated, what are thunderstorms and cyclones, destruction caused by the cyclones and effective safety measures against cyclones. So several natural phenomena take place on our earth. There are winds, storms, cyclones, rain, thunder and lightning. Some of these are useful, while some others cause massive destruction of the life and the property. The destruction caused by storms, cyclones, excessive rains, etc. are called natural disaster. Means the damage caused to us by the action of nature is called natural disaster. In this chapter, children, you will be learning the basic features concerning wind, storm and cyclones. Before we begin, you should understand the difference between wind and storms. Wind is the movement of air in the atmosphere. Or in the simple language you can say the moving air is called wind. But a very strong wind is called a storm. It is generally accompanied by rain and snow and often sometimes by thunder and lightning. The weather of a region is closely related to the wind patterns of that region. Whatever the weather condition can be present in any region is directly proportional, means it is directly affected by the wind pattern of that region. Let me tell you the main characteristics of winds. Wind has two main characteristics: direction and speed. The direction of the wind is found out by an instrument called the wind vane. Means you can find out the direction, in which direction the wind is blowing, by using an instrument called wind vane. The device used to indicate the wind speed is called anemometer. Means the speed of the wind is measured by a device called anemometer. A wind vane is made up of horizontal vane with a pointer and a tail. The pointer of the wind swings around and always points in the direction of the wind. For example, in the south wind, the vane points towards the south. Let us begin the chapter with some activities involving air. These activities will clarify some basic features concerning a cyclone. Before we begin, remember, as I have said, the moving air is called the wind. Let us see. First topic of discussion is air exerts pressure. For understanding this topic, let us perform an activity. This is activity 8.1 of the NCERT book. Whenever an activity involves hitting, you should be very careful, and you are advised to perform such activities only in the presence of an elderly person of your family. Or you should be very careful and you should carry out these activities in the presence of your teacher only. You are not supposed to perform the activities by your own at your home. This can be dangerous. For performing this activity, for understanding air exhaust pressure, let us see what we need. We need to boil water in the following activity. Means the activity which will show that air exhaust pressure, we need to boil water. Take a tin can with a lid. Fill it approximately half with water. Heat the tin can on a candle flame till the water boils. Let the water boil for few minutes. Blow out the candle, or you can remove that tin can from the gas stove. Immediately put the lid tightly on the can, and at the same time immediately you need to put the lid of that can and it should be fixed tightly. Be careful in handling the hot can. Put the can carefully in a shallow metallic vessel or a wash basin. Pour fresh water over the can. What happens to the shape of the can? As you can see, this is the picture. In this activity, we have boiled water in the tin can, and when the water started to boil, we tightly close the lid of the lid and blow off the candle, or you remove the tin can from the gas stove. After that, we put fresh water on the tin can. As you can see, can you guess why the shape of the can gets distorted? Because see, when the water was boiling and it has created pressure, when we have closed the lid of the can, the pressure was inside the can. But when we pour the fresh water over the can, over the hot can, what happened? The pressure created by the water vapor tried to escape from various sides, which failed to escape and resulted in the distortion of the shape of the can, as you can see here also. Let us see some of more experiences. When you fly a kite, does the wind coming from your back help? No. If you are in a boat, is it easier to row if there is wind coming from behind you? Yes, of course, it becomes difficult when the wind is coming from behind, because it pushes the boat in the direction from which we are coming. Means we are going back to the same direction by the force exerted by the wind. Do you find it difficult to ride a bicycle against the wind direction? You know that. Yes, of course you will find a difficulty. You know that we have to fill air into the bicycle tube to keep it tight. Also, you know that a bicycle tube overfilled with air may burst. What is the air doing inside the tube? Now let us try to explain why the can or the bottle. In case of this tin can, you can use the plastic bottle also, and you can perform this activity with the help of by using a plastic bottle also. So let us now try to explain why the can or the bottle gets distorted. As the water is poured over the can, some steam in the can condenses into water, reducing the amount of air inside. The pressure of the air inside the can decreases than the pressure exerted by the air from the outside. As a result, the can gets compressed. So this activity again confirms that air exerts pressure. Next topic of discussion is how high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. Again, we need to perform an activity. Here is an activity. A child is trying to blow the piece of paper inside the bottle. For this activity, crumble a small piece of paper into a ball size smaller than the mouth of an empty bottle. For performing this activity, you need an empty bottle and you need a piece of paper. Crumble that piece of paper into the shape of a ball, which should be smaller than the mouth of the bottle. Hold the empty bottle on its side and place the paper ball just inside its mouth, as it is placed just inside its mouth. Now try to blow on the ball to force it into the bottle. From this side, you need to blow the air to force the ball getting inside the bottle. Try the activity with bottles of different sizes. Challenge your friends if they can force. This activity can be much easily this topic, that high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure, can be more conveniently explained by this activity. You need to take a stripe of paper and try to blow over that thin long strip of paper. You will notice a very interesting thing. The paper, instead being pushed down, when you are trying to blow the stripe of paper, the paper, instead of going down, it moves up. The more air you blow, more it moves up. This is because the pressure over the paper strip gets reduced when you blow air over it. Below the paper, the air remains still and the pressure remains the same. When you blow the paper, the pressure exerted by the downcoming winds becomes reduced, but the pressure which is present below the paper strip is still the same, and the air remains still in this position. So more you blow the air, more reduction of air pressure is there, and the paper strip tends to blow in the upward direction. This results in the forward lift of the paper strips. Birds and aircrafts fly in the air. Ships sail in the river using the same principle. Similar observation is made when you try to blow a crumpled piece of paper, as I was telling before, paper ball, keep just inside the mouth of a bottle. As you blow the air near the mouth, the speed of the air increases there and the pressure decreases. See, as you can see here in the picture, when the crumpled paper ball is kept over the mouth of the empty bottle, what happens when you blow the air? The pressure exerted by the air is reduced and the speed of the air increases. That's why what happens? The paper ball flows away. It gets blown. As you blow air near the mouth, the speed of the air increases and the pressure decreases. The pressure inside the bottle becomes higher in comparison to the pressure near the mouth. This pushes the paper ball out. Thus, it becomes very difficult to force the paper inside. Now here is one more activity. The aim of the activity is to show that when the speed of air increases, the pressure is reduced. Means there is one more activity to make you understand high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. For performing this activity, we will be needing 2 balls, a little water, a thread and a rod to hang the balloons. Procedure: fill the balloons with small amount of water, then blow them so that they become equal in sizes. As you can see in the picture, water is here up to this mark only. Then air is blown inside the balloon to make both the balloon equal in sizes. Tie them separately with a thread and hang them at equal distances from the center of the rod. As you can see, there is a rod, or you can take the stick also. The two balloons are tied separately with a thread and they are hanged below from the center, away from the center of the stick or the rod. They should not touch each other, means the balloon should be placed such that they should not touch each other. Blow air in between them with your mouth. You can use a paper roll also, and through this paper roll, when you will be blowing the air between the balloons, what do you notice? Yes, your observation will be the balloons move towards each other when the air is blown in between them. The balloons are coming closer toward each other when the air is blown in between them. Conclusion: when the air is blown between the balloons, the pressure gets reduced there. As I have said, when the balloons were in the state condition and they were hanging still with the stick, the air was exerting equal amount of pressure on both the balloons, so they were standing apart from each other. But when the air was blown in between the balloon, they tends to come closer because the pressure between the balloon decreases by the speed of air which is blown through the mouth. The pressure outside the balloon being higher pushes them towards each other. This proves that when the speed of wind is increased, the pressure of the air decreases. High speed winds lift and blow away roofs which are weak. You must have seen in the news or heard somewhere that the roof during the strong winds or storms are blown away by the winds. They also uproot the trees, plants and cause a lot of damage to buildings, properties as well as lives. Next topic of discussion is air expands on heating. Let us perform an activity to understand that when air is heated, it expands. Aim: to show that we are performing an activity. So the aim of the activity is to show that air expands on heating. For performing this activity, we will be needing 2 glass bottles with narrow necks, 2 balloons, 2 beakers containing nearly 3/4 of water. Now let us see what is the procedure involved. Stretch the balloons over the neck of the glass bottles. As you can see, there are 2 glass bottles and the balloons are stretched over the neck of the glass bottles. Boil the water in one of the beaker and place the glass bottle in it. In a beaker, you need to boil some water, and when the water starts to boil, you need to place this bottle stretched with balloon inside the beaker. Cool the water in the other beaker by adding some ice and place the other glass bottle in it. So we have taken 2 beakers. 2 beakers are nearly filled with 3/4 of water. First beaker is heated, and because of the heat, the water starts to boil, and then we need to place that glass bottle along with the balloon. Second beaker, the water of the second beaker is made more colder by adding some ice, and after that the bottle with another balloon is placed in that beaker. So we are taking 2 beakers. So what do you observe when you place the glass bottle in the hot water and when you place the glass bottle in the cold water? As you can see in the picture itself, when the glass bottle was inserted in the hot water, the air which is present, as you know children, air can occupy any empty space available to it. Yes, so even though the bottle is empty, it is filled with air. That's why when we have placed the glass bottle stretched with the balloon in the hot water, the air which is present inside the glass bottle got heated up and it got expanded in all the direction. So the heated hot gas tried to fill the space in the balloon also, and that's why the balloon get inflated, because the air present inside the bottle tends to expand on heating and tries to fill the space present in the balloon. That is why the balloon is inflated. While in the other beaker, as you can see, when the water is closed, water is made more colder by adding ice. What happens? The balloon gets deflated because the air which is present inside the bottle becomes more condensed by touching the cold surface of the water. Let us see the observation here. The balloons get inflated when the bottle is placed in the boiling water. The balloon tied to the neck of the other bottle kept in the ice cold water gets deflated. So what is the conclusion here? The air inside the bottle kept in the beaker of boiling water gets heated and expands, as I have explained earlier. Therefore, the balloon gets inflated. And in the reverse process, what happened? Taken place in the other bottle. The air inside it contracts and therefore the balloon gets deflated. This activity proves that the air expands on heating and contracts on cooling. Gases expand the most of the solid the least. Means gases expands the most and the solids expands the least while heating. Now here is another activity. Another topic of discussion is warm air is lighter than the colder air. We have learned in the previous activity that air expands on heating and it occupies more space. Therefore, when the gas is heated up, it becomes lighter than the same amount of cold air. The air which is heated up, it becomes lighter in comparison to the same amount of air, cold air. And the hot air becomes lighter and tends to rise up. That is why a candle flame burns upwards always. Even when you will tilt the candle, the flame will burn in the upside direction and the smoke rises up. This is also the reason why a chapati balloons, as you can see in the picture, when it is placed over the gas stove, when the chapati is placed over the burning gas stove, the air which is present inside the chapati get heated up and tends to expand, leading to the ballooning of the chapati. The air and steam mixture inside the rolled chapati expands and rises up on heating. When the air inside it expands too much, the chapati bursts. Now here is an activity showing that warm air rises upward. Even if you can also try by lighting a long candle. When you suppose this is a candle, and when the candle is burning, the flame is going in upward direction, but even when you will tilt the candle, the flame will always rise up in the upward direction. So here is an activity. Let us perform the activity. For performing this activity, we will be needing 2 paper bags, some thread, a burning candle and a thick wooden stick. Procedure: hang the 2 paper bags in the inverted position from the end of the stick so that the open ends face downwards. As you can see, this is the closed part of the paper bag and these paper bags are hanged on the stick from the closed parts. Means the open parts is facing downwards. Tie a piece of thread in the middle of the stick so that the arrangement look like just a balance. As you can see, the arrangement is just looking like a Balance, the balance used for measuring vegetables. Place a lighted candle below one of the bags. What do you observe? When you will place the lighted candle below one of the paper bag, the air inside the paper bag gets heated up and tends to rise. That's why this paper bag is moving in the upward direction, lowering the stick to the other end, as you can see in the picture. This can be also seen when you light a candle during Diwali. It is also kind of paper bag. So when you place diya inside that candle, what happens? The air present inside that candles get heated up and it rises in the sky. It looks very beautiful when it is lighted during Diwali. Observation. After some time, the bag under which the lighted candle is placed rises up and the balance of the bags get disturbed. As you can see in the picture, the stick is bending in one direction and the paper bag below which the candle is burned, it is moving upward. So this shows that the air when heated up is lighter and rises up. When warm air rises the surface of the earth, it creates an area of low pressure. The surrounding region where the air is relatively colder due to sinking down of air becomes an area of high pressure. Let me give you an example of a seaside. As you know, children, the land gets heated up more quickly than the water bodies, means the water bodies take more time to get heated up. So because of the heat refracted from the land surface, the air surrounding the land also gets heated up and it becomes lighter and it tends to move in upward direction, creating an empty space below the earth, empty space at the earth surface. So this area where the air is get heated up and rising and creating an empty space, that empty space is known as the area of low pressure, as you can see here in the picture, the area of low pressure. And you know, children, water bodies take so much time to get heated up, therefore the air present over the water bodies are still colder and they are exerting more pressure because of the sinking. Warm air is heated and becomes lighter, it rising up, creating low pressure, and the cold air is sinking down towards the earth's surface. So that cold air will experience or form an area of high pressure. To maintain the balance in the atmosphere, air from the high pressure area moves to the low pressure area. As I have said, when the air gets heated up, it moves in the upward direction, creating an empty space here. Therefore, the air surrounding this area will tend to move in this direction to fill the gap. As you know, children, air fills every space available to it. So, this principle is used by the nature to maintain the atmosphere, maintain the balance in the atmosphere. The air in the high pressure area rushes towards the air in the low pressure area. Let me show you by a diagram. Suppose this is the land surface and here this is the water body. This is the land and this is water. Let us suppose ocean. So as I have said, land gets heated up more quickly. So the air surrounding the land will expand, will rise up on heating. But the air surrounding the ocean is still colder as water body takes too much time to get heated up. Therefore, the air is exerting pressure in the downward direction, means the air is sinking below. But when the air is hot and it is rising up, it is creating an empty space here. Therefore, the cold wind surrounding the water body will tend to rush and fill the gap which is created. as the wind is rising up, it is creating an area of low pressure, and here on the water body air is sinking down, so it is creating a area of high pressure. But so to maintain the atmosphere balance in the atmosphere, nature follows the same principle. Warm air, hot air rises up creating low pressure area, and this gap is filled by the air from the colder region. So there is a circle here. This states of convection in air and is the main cause of wind. As I have said, the warm air moves up in upward direction, cold air rushes to fill that gap, so it sets in convection, circular, it sets a motion in the air, and that is how wind is generated. Therefore, a difference in the air pressure gives rise to wind. The more the difference in the pressure, the more severe the wind. Next topic of discussion is generation of wind currents. How wind currents are generated over the earth's surface. Uneven heating of the earth generates the wind currents. So there are two kinds of situations. These are, as you can see, the earth is in circular shape. The sun rays fall vertically over the equator and generates more heat in this area, and the sun rays are slanting over the poles, so they are generating less heat near the poles. Now let us read. The region around the equator receive maximum heat from the sun throughout the year. Therefore, the air in these regions gets heated up. This warm air rises up, and the cooler air from the surrounding 0 to 30 degree from the surrounding, this is the 0 is the 0 at 0 degree, equator is at 0 degree latitude, and the colder airs from 0 to 30 degree, they are coming to fill that gap. The air which is present here near the equator get heated up and rising. The cold wind coming from the 30 degree north latitude is trying to fill that gap. On the either side of the equator rushes toward the equator. As I have said, this near to the equator, the wind is getting heated up and it is rising, but from both the 30 degree north and 30 degree south latitudes, the colder wind are rushing in to fill that gap which is caused due to rising of the hot wind. At 60 degree latitude, the air is warmer than the poles. Here, air is more warmer than in comparison to the poles. Here also, the warm air rises up and the cold wind from the poles rushes to take that place. Thus, the wind currents are generated from poles to the equator, as you can see in the picture also. The movement of the air is not exactly in the north-south direction, means the air does not exactly moves in the north and south direction. Why? This is because the motion of the earth. As you know, the earth is continuously rotating on its axis. So this is because the wind does not blow from north and south direction. This is because the rotation of the earth causes a change in the direction. Next is uneven heating of land and water. As I have explained by drawing the diagram earlier also, you can see the land surfaces are get heated up more quickly in comparison to the water bodies. Therefore, it creates warm air rises up, it creates a low pressure area here, and the cold wind which is sinking down is rushed to fill that gap. So as you can see, there is a set of convection. During summer, the land near the equator warms up faster than the water in the oceans. The air over the land also gets heated up and rises. The cooler air over the sea rushes towards the land. These winds carry a lot of water and bring rainfall. These winds are full of moisture and they bring rainfall in these areas. It forms a part of the water cycle. These are known as the monsoon winds. And the word monsoon is derived from the Arabic word mausim, which means season. In winter, the wind blows from the land to the ocean. They do not carry moisture or bring rain. And the reverse thing happens in the winter season. What happens? The water bodies, when they are warmer, they are taking much time to get cooled down, while the land cools down easily. Therefore, the reverse action of wind is there, and the land which blows from the land towards the water does not carry any moisture, and thus they do not bring rainfall. In India, the monsoon winds flow in the southwest direction during summer. This is due to the uneven heating of the land in the deserts of Rajasthan and water in the Indian Ocean. In winter, the winds blow from the northwest colder lands. They carry little water and bring small amount of rainfall or no rainfall. Ending up the video here. Rest part of the text will be explained in the next part of the video. Thank you, children.